Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm doing a foundation wear test. Now in that box of goodies that the lovely Justina gave me, there were a whole bunch of samples from the brand Meow cosmetics. There were some eyeshadow pigments, eyeliners and stuff, but there were also foundations. So I'm going to try out the foundations in today's video. So I have 5 samples here. So it is a mineral based brand. Let's have a little look about it. So I think it's an American based brand as well. Full selection of foundations on here. I'll read a description of the foundation. They've got 3 formulas. I do have a selection of the formulas. You've got the formula Perfect, which is light coverage. You've then got Pampered, which is medium, and then the high coverage is Flawless. So I've got mainly Perfects, 1 Pampered and 1 Flawless here, but obviously all different shades, so I've got to try and match my right shade. So it says all the formulas won't clog pores, they're long wearing and comfortable, layerable coverage without shine, and there's 86 shades with coordinating concealer shades. So that's incredible, that's 86 shades, considering it's a very small business as well. Not small, they probably actually do very well, but in terms of the amount of people that are behind them and that have to hand make all this, that's pretty damn good. And I think actually some of the bigger brands can actually take note of this for sure. So yeah, they have a whole bunch of shade range. What I also like on here is they actually do, say if you're someone who does wear or use MAC and you wear their foundations, they do actually have kind of conversions of the shades. So if you know what kind of colour you are, say in a MAC foundation, they'll tell you the kind of shade to try within their foundations, which I think is really cool. So they have 15 categories, all of which are cat names, which would make sense. So they've got like Snow Lynx, which is kind of white, no undertones, Persian, peach. You got things like Siamese, which is neutral, Bengal, which is cool beige, all kinds of one like that, all kinds of categories like that. And within each category, they have it's almost kind of like what their personality of the cat is. So then it has the different shades within that. So Siamese is neutral undertones. And then it goes from 0 to 6, 0 being inquisitive, which is, so inquisitive Siamese would be lightest, almost white. And then it goes to 6, which is independent, so an independent Siamese would be very dark. So do a great range, different shades. So yeah, you've got the 15 types of cat as the kind of the undertones. And then it goes all across with different shades and they use characteristics to describe it. So it's all very cool and very unique. So they come in little bags like this, which I should have bought something to pop it onto actually. Okay, so this is the Perfect formula. So this is the light coverage in the Sleek Manx. So the yellow peach undertone for very light skin tone. I mean, it kind of blends really nicely. It feels quite soft on the skin actually, but I can see small bits of shimmer in there. Nothing very noticeable, but just there are little bits of shimmer in there. So let's try the Flawless one. So this is going to give obviously a lot more coverage. I'm just kind of seeing what they feel like, and then I'll decide which one I actually want to apply to my face for today. Ooh. Probably not the full coverage, only because I think the shade probably is fine. I don't know, it feels quite drying if I'm being completely honest. Although I've got quite oily skin, so it might actually be quite beneficial for me. And actually testing it on the face might be different from how it feels on the hand, but just straight up it does feel a lot more drying than the Perfect one. So I'm going to start off, I think, with the lighter coverage one, and I'm going to prime my face. I'm only going to prime half my face just to see how kind of well it works with primer and how well it lasts without a primer as well. I have actually run out of my 100% Pure Luminous Primer. So the primer of choice today is a Jane Ardell Smooth Affair, because I tried it once admittedly, but I quite enjoyed it and it didn't make me too oily, so I'm intrigued to see how it works with this foundation. I'm just going to prime this half of my face, and we can see if there's a difference and stuff like that. But yeah, I've run out of my 100% Pure one, so I do need to get on that and order a new one at some point. So yeah, I'm going to try the Perfect formula first. I'm going to use my Lily Lolo Kabuki brush. This is what I like to use for the mineral powders. It's kind of dense but also really fluffy, so it's nice at picking up product but blending out really well. I'm going to pop it. That's the only thing. I know they do it in samples in bags, but actually in terms of kind of distributing it to not make a mess, it's kind of a pain. I don't really have anything to pop it in. Start with the non-primed side and start buffing this in. So yeah, it really kind of feels nice on the skin. Feels really, I say it feels really smooth, but it does make your skin feel soft. I'm going to do like kind of one layer on this side just so we can compare it, see. I know it's meant to be light coverage, but we can just see if it has made a difference at all in the two. And I can already see it has, it's kind of one of those ones that's definitely going to even things out. Not necessarily cover, but definitely even bits out. Although it does say that it is a buildable foundation, so you could get to medium coverage. But I'd say that colour match is pretty good. I'm kind of glad I went for that one and that undertone as well. I'd say it's definitely evened out my skin tone. It hasn't covered like any blemishes because you can see that one's still on show and stuff. But I'd say it's definitely evened out the skin tone. It feels so soft on my skin as well, which I really like that. I'm going to apply to the prime side, see if there's a difference. I'm going to need some more product. These samples are definitely, you only get one use out of them, I'd say. It doesn't really have much of a scent to it. There is a slight scent, but it's not really like perfumed or anything like that. Oh, okay. So I'd say with the primer side, you definitely get more of a coverage just because it kind of picks up more of the pigment, whereas on this side it kind of blends out more and spreads out the product, whereas this kind of, it does not clings to certain patches, but it definitely is a lot more, it gives a lot more coverage with the primer side. And actually now looking at this side, I think it might be a little bit too light for me anyway. I actually think I prefer the non-prime side to the prime side in terms of how this is applying and looking on the skin. However, one big thing that I have noticed is it's completely clung to all my dry areas on my skin. So I've been suffering with dry skin around this area at the moment, and it's really kind of clung to the area. So like here, around this area, it has a little bit on this side as well, but nothing as bad as this side. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this all off and I'm just going to apply the foundation with no primer underneath. I think, like I said, I prefer the non-prime side to the prime side right now. It's just not working out for me. So I'm going to take this off and reapply it with no primer and see if that makes a difference. If it's still kind of really clinging to this dry area, I think I'm going to have to give it a miss just because obviously I don't really want that emphasised or anything like that. So I've taken it all off. My skin is dry now. There's no excess like makeup remover. So I'm going to try again. I can already say now that I prefer like my Lily Lolo Mineral Foundation and I prefer my Inica one as well. I don't know, there's something about it that's just not my fave. And I'm sticking with that shade only because I've already tipped it all out and it's going to be a pain for me to try and get it back in. So I'm not going to worry too much if the shade is off at the moment in terms of testing. I'm just going to purely base it on kind of the formulation and how it lasts. I may even try the Flawless formula just to go in with the areas where I want a bit more coverage, just to see what it is like. It did feel quite dry on the back of my hand, so I'll go in carefully with that one just to see. Okay, so that's all of that sample applied. So actually you can get about 2 uses out of the sample. It definitely looks much better on the skin. It feels really nice. I'm glad I decided to go without primer completely. It does feel nice. Like I said, it is light coverage, so you can see my spots are still there, but it definitely has even out my skin tone in terms of redness on the cheeks and things like that. So I think it looks really nice. I think at the moment I'm still kind of preferring my Lily Lola, my Inico one. I'm going to keep trying this out, and like I said, I'm going to take some of the Flawless formula, which is the more full coverage, in the exact same shade, and kind of use this on the areas where I want more coverage, just to see what it's like, see if it is as drying as it felt on the back of my hand. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush for this. I'm going to go in with my setting brush. This is a typical brush I'd use for like my mineral concealers and stuff like that, for kind of spot areas. I'm actually just going to dunk into the bag just to save me having to pour it out. So let's start with this chin area. It is kind of covering, but it's kind of not at the same time. And it does feel quite dry on the skin, like my skin feels tight in this area. So maybe, if you had dry skin, I would definitely stay away from this. I mean, I've got an oily T-zone and oily skin, and even this feels quite tight where I've popped this one. And like I said, it's not really, let's pick up quite a bit this time actually. Oh, that's quite a lot actually. Okay. It's not really covering. Okay, now I've got a patch there, a white patch there, it's not helpful. It's not really covering how I want it to. Okay, I think I've made up my mind about this product, unfortunately. I think I'm not going to do a wear test. I don't like how my skin looks. Like I said, I know the light coverage, obviously light coverage is not going to cover my spots. It does even out my skin tone, like I said, but I just think it's too... I mean, it says you can build up with no shine, and yeah, I'm someone with oily skin, so I want to reduce the shine, but it almost makes my skin look a bit dull, I think. I don't know, actually it kind of looks nice on the cheek areas, but I just think everywhere else, and yeah, trying to build up with that full coverage one is not working out for me now. There's like a white patch there. I don't know, I know how my Lily Lolo applies and how my Inica foundation applies, mineral ones, and I just think I much prefer them over this. So unfortunately I'm going to give this a pass, but still thank you so much Justina for passing these on to let me try out. Not everything works for everyone unfortunately, but it's always fun to try out new products. I'm always up for trying new products. Like I said, I have got some more eye-based stuff from Meow Cosmetics, so I'm definitely going to try out because their concept is obviously very good. There's only a few people behind it, so it's always great to support small businesses like that. They've got some really unique, cool ideas for the whole kind of cat theme with the names, the shade undertones and the type of cat, you know, for the different tones and stuff. It is really cool, really unique. And like I said, I will test out the other Meow Cosmetic eye products soon. But I think in terms of foundation, I think this is a no for me. Or it's just not feeling right on my skin, and I just don't know if it's for me, unfortunately. So leave any requests for future videos down below. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it wasn't necessarily the best video in the world, but I will see you in my next video.